Hello, this is the 11th week of this Senna series. You'll know by the title where this is the last week or the second last one, which I suspect it's the second last one. But I won't know till I do it because every stroke is live. No editing except for the coughs and any breaks I had, but you're seeing everything that I'm doing all the way through. Today I'm starting on that helmet, and this is what I'm sort of thinking today's video will be just that. But if it's quicker than I thought, we'll get onto the tyre too, and then we're nearly done. So, all right, thanks for being here. We're premiered again, like we've been every other time. If you've just found this for the first time, go have a look at the other ones. Like I said, every stroke, all the way through from a big blank canvas to this point now, has all been done live, unedited. All right, let's get stuck into it. Okay, so as you know by now, the yellow doesn't cover too well, right? So even though I've got a yellow mixed up, which is from the opaque line of the Createx thing, I'm going to use my skin tone as a base to get some coverage down. Modelers will know that pink is the best color to use under yellow because it's a pigment issue, not a brand issue. And yellows are always a bit painful, and pink makes perfect sense because it's going to give that warmth. You're going to get the coverage with the white and a little bit of red, and you're going to get that warmth, so the yellow is not going to go muddy. I'm not going to mix up a pink because I'm being lazy, but the skin tone, which is the highlight of the skin tone, so the lightest one with the most white in it, has got a lot of yellow in it, so that'll do. The yellow, opaque yellow on the top will do the job. So that's what I've got in my airbrush first up. Now, the other thing you will just notice that I'm using this cutout from my 1:1. Now, if I was by myself painting this, I wouldn't even think about doing this because I'm just in the zone. I just freehand everything, right? But I've done this a lot in this artwork so far, and it really does save me a lot of time. So I've got to change my ways and realise that sometimes cutting out a custom template or shield may be the best way to do it. Now I'll freehand over the top of this most likely as well, but it does two things. Gives me a nice clean quick edge, also it keeps everything in the right spot. Sorry, my hand's blocking a little bit there, but nothing you can do about that. So, hope everyone's well. I apologise, it's been a couple of weeks since the premiere. I was sick. Life just got in the way. I was very busy. Had to say goodbye to my puppy. That was sad as well. That was the same time I was sick, so sick, genuine, and then say goodbye to the puppy that day too. So that was a sad day. I'm still, even it's been like 2 weeks, I'm still feeling a bit ordinary. Anyway. Complaining. So right now I'm just looking at where the yellow is and putting this skin tone base down. You see straight away it like covers almost instantly, good enough that the yellow will do this job. The only pencil line I've got is this one here, which is where divide where the green is. It's a very thin part of green. I'm just going to put this skin as an even coat all over. I'm just taking my time because obviously as soon as I blow it, it's lifting it off, right? So I'm trying to minimise any overspray that gets past because I don't want to have to clean it all up. Having said that, it probably will sneak under there here and there, we'll see. Yeah, so I hope everyone's well. I hope my absence hasn't stopped people from tuning in this week, but I can't help that. Okay, so it's not fully covered, but that's going to be good enough. I must say that I'm really keen to get rid of this custom made shield. It's annoying me already because it blows around, but like I said, I think that was still a much quicker way. I'll switch to the yellow now. I've also got the sign writing, the Kenwood on the visor, and the Marlboro writing itself cut out. on a separate 1-to-1. So that's going to save me plenty of time, like crazy amount of time. Yeah, the yellow is very thick, straight out the bottle, not even a custom colour. I don't care how close or off the colour is. You see now what I've decided at the end there, it worked out pretty well. I'm pulling it tight and I'm angling down and aiming that way so that overspray is not going to go up. If I'm in the middle, the overspray is going to hit and go and up and underneath the shield. So I'm just doing pulling it tight, airbrushing starting off and coming onto the artwork. I am going to freehand over top of this as well. Did I say that already? And oh, that was the other thing. The yellow is close to full strength and hardly any reducer, if any. I would have put my UVLS clear in there for adhesion, but it doesn't spray too well on this fine 0.3, oh, this 0.3 I think this is. And it likes to be reduced a little bit more. It's not straight out because it is spraying reasonable, but it's just not as well as all the other colours because of prioritising coverage versus flow. The other reason I didn't do, I was an extra week behind, was because everything got pushed back, right? So I'm still recording my course. I'm calling it apprenticeship for my level 2 build. Of level 1's finished. You can get that now if you wanted to, but right now the only option is to self-pace your way through it, which I think most people could do. But later on I'll have some support options, but right now while I'm doing YouTube and recording level 2, I don't have the time for that. But yeah, so everything was pushed back because I missed that week. So the second week, even though I was sick, I had to do some recording instead. It just took priority, unfortunately. I do enjoy these, but okay. I think that's enough. Oh no, to do down here is a tinge of yellow. Doesn't have to be exact. There's not actually much else on there. There's a little hint of white around it. I'm really tempted to see what it looks like, how much of that paint's snuck underneath the shield. Yeah, not too bad. I'll freehand this now because it's, look how crappy I even cut it out. I don't know if the camera can see it, but I can always put that back on if need be. So I'm going to get white out now because there's a bit of a highlight there. There's a tinge of like shadow, but I don't think I'm going to worry about it. We'll see. Oh, do I want to do the green now? Oh, maybe I'll put that back and do the green. I'll do the green. You can even hear, I don't know if it picks it up, how harsh the that yellow comes out because it's so thick. So there's been 10 videos so far with lots of gaps in between. I don't know how many weeks it's been. Same colours. And I store them without the lids on them. Well, not without the lids, just with the adapters on them, but the hole's open and they're still working fine. I won't keep them indefinitely. The old 4011 reducer, before they made up the 4021 reducer in Createx, once you reduced it, it had like about a 2-week shelf life, and you would notice it would actually break up and start having dramas with it. So yeah, I wanted to always have like batch colours pre-thinned and stored in bigger bottles so I didn't waste any.
but that didn't work because the 4011 was had that shelf life. But now, and I've been doing it, I've been not experimenting, but keeping an eye on it ever since 4021 came out, so a long time. I'm confident now that it's going to work. So to Temu I go and buy some more bottles, just to like larger storage bottles. Just because I find I tend to mix up the same skin tone over and over again, or close enough to, right? So if I had that base of a skin tone, then it will just save me some time and save me wastage, because a lot of these colours I'm just going to go, I'll just tip them out. And the other thing, once I've got that sorted out, I'll what will I say? I'm just, brain's not even thinking today. What will I do? Don't know, lost it, gone. Gone. Oh, that's it. I'll be able to put the lids on them and seal them. So this is what I was saying, that I haven't got enough of these little lids, so I just don't bother. Like that fits this bottle. So if I buy some bigger bottles, and I'll have a skin tone and primer colours and all that stuff that I'll just tip in at the end, then they'll be sealed, because I'll have a lid for the bigger bottle. You'll see I'm freehanding this part. There's a little pinstripe white and black. I don't know, I've got stencils cut out for the sign writing, but I haven't got like the rectangle for the Marlboro. I haven't got this little sign. I'm just going to freehand them, and you can massively simplify, I have said this before, sign writing logos and stuff on helmets. So that's actually not even how that green goes. It goes down here. I'll tidy that up with the black. Okay. That would have been handy. I've got it here actually. Let's see how far off I am, because I'm definitely off. So here's my one where I've cut out the sign writing. I can hide it. You can see it. You can see through. So the Kenwood's cut out and the Marlboro's cut out. But it's a 1-to-1, so I'll be able to tell you exactly how far off, which is miles off. Oh my god. Alright, so this second part, I've got to get the yellow back out now, unfortunately. That's annoying, because that will look odd. It's too far off. So I'm going to get the skin tone back out. And then cover it back with the yellow. Again, because the yellow's not going to cover that green too well. It's going to be not perfectly in the exact spot, but a little bit closer to where it's meant to be, which is way down here like so. Actually, this, rather than white, this might do as a good highlight on top of the helmet. Yeah, that'll do. Not a total waste of time. This is some. I'm going to let that dry, because I want to put my hand to touch, and I don't want to run my hand through that part I just painted, as I just do it anyway. Been a fun series. I won't be doing it too often though, I must say. It started to weigh on me in the back of my mind too often. Okay, that didn't work as good as I like. I'm going to switch to white for that bit in a minute. And another coat here, switch to the yellow. Yeah, so I think this might be like a once a year thing where I do like a big painting and a big series. Overall, it's been pretty good though. Like I say, there's been 10 videos sometimes so far. It's the 11th. Range from an hour to about an hour 40, I think was like the longest one. So at that rate, there's no more than 15 hours before today. So it's been pretty good to get such a big artwork in that sort of time, I think. Switch back to yellow just to cover that. And then it reminds me how much of a pig it sprays. Saw someone on one of the Facebook groups the other day. They often the same thing, like what reduces, blah blah blah. Anyway, a Createx user that just went, nah, didn't rate the 40-21. So I went back to 40-11 and I was like, oh my god, what planet are you from? It's like chalk and cheese. Not like people say, oh, it stops tip dry. It doesn't. It's not even about that. It just sprays so much smoother. And the reason I just said that now is because there's very little 40-21 in this, and it doesn't spray well with the stick. So the importance of reducer is huge. Now I know like other brands and people have done it with Createx, the ISO profile and all that stuff. That's fine, you do your thing. The way I figure it is Createx pays people full time to, scientists, they're chemists, to design this stuff. And they come up 40-21, and one day they'll come up with 40-31 and it'll be even better again. Because it's their job to make it keep getting better. So that's the way I look at it. So I don't bother making my own concoctions. Alright, white I'm getting out now because I want to do the highlight, and while I'm there now I'll put that little, I'm just going to freehand that pinstripe between the green, and I'm just going to pretend, can you see it now? There's a tiny little black in between. I'm just going to pretend it's not there. Okay. Okay, so this white is actually closer to 50-50, and straight away it's like, oh, how nice is this spray compared to that crappy yellow I was just using. So yes, quite a lot reduced white, which whites, as we all know, is the hardest one to play with. You're always fighting with coverage versus control. The thinner it is, the more control, but the less coverage you get. So here is a highlight where it doesn't need to be covered. I've got it a little bit extra reduced, and it sprays beautifully. It'd be interesting. I'm just tidying up a little bit of overspray on the wing there. Be interesting now, because in a minute, I'm going to put this thin pinstripe line. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. We can massively simplify this type of stuff on a car artwork. If anyone's looking at this fine white line on the helmet, when I stand back and look at the whole artwork, then I've done something wrong on the whole artwork. At this super close range, it's easy to get sort of caught up, but you got to think back, this is like 1.2 meters high. It's not meant to be viewed like that. Okay, what I'm going to do now, while I've got the white, is I'm going to blend it out a little bit more and tidy up. I keep sitting back and looking and go, right, this little bump here is annoying me. I might have to do it with the black later. Little tag when I cut out my stencil with the, I ripped it a little bit, a little bump. I want to put the yellow back on now, but while I got the white and it's rinsed well, I'm going to use this one just to give me an idea where the rectangle around the Marlboro is, because I've got these cut out, the letters, but I don't have the outer part. So if I just put a really light coat of what needs to be late, this will be red later, and then this will be black, just enough so I can see where it goes. And then I'll go around. I know now where that rectangle goes, and I'll just freehand it. Again, that white's working pretty well. It's not covering. I don't need it to cover because it's on yellow. But actually it's covering reasonable, but I was able to reduce it a bit more because coverage wasn't the priority. And I'm getting the yellow back out again next. Maybe actually now I'm going to reduce that yellow next time because I don't need any more coverage. I just need to kill off the white. Was a bit too bright. If I need to tidy up the edge of this rectangle a little bit, which I will. I'm going to make this white line a little bit thicker. Just all before I have to switch back to yellow. One more coat there. I was thinking this week I'd like to see you guys a lot of your work. I've seen the muckers, Poco's normally here. Obviously Dread and all that, but I want to see you guys that normally turn up. That obviously airbrush. Oh, Michael McClung, I've seen a lot of yours because you got your own channel and often paint live. I love seeing other people's stuff. So, inside on my channel, on everyone's channels, there's a community tab. I invite you, you've got to be subscribed, that's the only thing, which you all are, you're getting the notification. Post your work in there. I'd love to see it. Right. Swapping back to yellow, which I'm going to reduce. Oh, do you know what? I just stood back and had a look. And I hadn't rinsed my airbrush properly, and that white has gone yellow at the end there. So, let's do that one more time. So I've rinsed it properly. I'm even going to spray just some airbrush cleaner only through. Do that white one more time. Then I'll switch back to the yellow. Alright, that's better. The other thing I'm just going to do right now is reduce that yellow so it's got time to sit a little bit. So now it's like 50-50 reduced. So it should spray much better. It is the opaque version, not the normal translucent version, but it'll still spray a bit nicer this time. Okay, so back you can even see it on the camera there. It's gone like cream instead of white. So one more coat. It's fine up here. That's why I didn't bother. And even this pinstripe, fine. But the Marlboro needs to be brighter. Okay, so it's actually gone quite out of focus now, which is okay, because I'm going to clean it back up with the yellow. The more you look, the more you keep seeing all these little extra bits and pieces, but we'll get there. The title would have already told you, but I would say that this is the second last video, just by how long even this has taken so far. Okay, this yellow sprays really nice now because I've reduced it. So a little bit more control. This is why I did it, right? You know, tidy up that rectangle, sharpen the line if I need to. This white edge as well. I'm not worried about the inside because that's going to be done with the cutout template. It's just this white rectangle that I'll worry about. Just touching that white on the outside a little bit, just killing it off so it's not pure white. It's a yellow highlight. Okay, that will do. What to do next? I'm just looking. I'm going to get my black out and put some bases down. I'm going to put the base down of the visor. Under here, there's some sign writing on the side, which I'm going to massively simplify. And yeah, we'll do that now. Maybe then when I've got that out, I'll put the Marlboro sign in. Okay, so I've got options of opaque black. I'm going to just use transparent black versus Payne's grey because I want a bit of coverage. At this point in artwork, I'm really avoiding mixing up colours, right? I'm just using what I've already mixed thus far. So much so that I'll probably even cheat as far as, instead of getting like a dark green, I'm just going to use the black, which I'll say never do that, to create the dark green on the side. Not so much there, just a hint of it over the top, just to darken that green a little bit. It's not a really good way to do it, right? Don't use black to shade as I do it. The only reason I even went there at all was because black in its raw form is actually really dark green, so it sort of works on green, not as well as making a dark green itself, but anyway, that'll do. Like I said, if no one's watching it and no one looks at it, then no, they'll only look at it if it's completely wrong. Now I've just decided now to put this back on. I'm going to put the Marlboro in, and I'm going to do the same trick that I did before with the Ken. I'm going to put the Kenwood, even though that ends up white later. I'm going to lightly put a dust of black in there, and that'll give me the guide where the visor goes. And while I'm here, I'll put the Marlboro in. So just a really light part there. That's going to give me that. And while I'm here, this will be massively simplified because I just don't have the accuracy to manually cut these little shapes, right? Like the Marlboro side. So it'll look a little bit odd at the start, but I'll tidy it up later. And there's like a reflection on it and stuff, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Alright, so I will freehand around it a little bit. Very important that this part of the M, which wasn't there, is there. What else is looking a bit odd? The A, there wasn't much there in my cutout, so I'll just freehand that. And the B. Okay, looks really bad. I don't like it, but it'll be right. No, anyway, we'll tidy that up later. So you see the ghosted part of the Kenwood there. Now I can see that that's the top of the visor. And it goes around like like so. Oh, actually look, there's a little bump on the edge, so I know it finishes there, so I'll get this one back out. I've actually got the edge there, that's where that finishes. So I went a bit high there. He's got his visor up a little bit, so that's where the visor actually is sitting up, but this is just the base. We're going to sort it out. Maybe a little bit higher. Okay, that's pretty good. So I'm not trying to be too careful and precise, getting it perfect first go. We'll just get it down and move along to the next decision after that. Okay. What I think I'll do is I'll basically black and white. So I'll use white to highlight these reflections, and then tint that down a little bit. Even though this is the right colour, so that Payne's grey is really good. That's what made me think of it then. If I put white down and then Payne's grey over the top, it's going to get that colour on this side of it really well. Probably didn't need to do timer today because now that I'm into it, it's like, well, I'm not going to stop until this helmet's done at least. I love how they evolve. Like right now, you're probably looking and going, well, that looks terrible. But I'm already seeing like the next few steps past it. I can see beyond. So I think we had this chat a few weeks ago about, you know, are all these a mistake? Because it's not right yet, is it? And for me, there's no such thing as a mistake. It's just the process to get there. Put some. That's what a lot of my level 2 course is about. Like, make a decision, make a choice. I'm speaking my choices as I do it. Right? It's like I'm going to put black and white and then use the Payne's grey because that seemed to work. Now I didn't decide that until I was painting it. There's 100 ways you could do it, and all of them are right. The only way there's mistakes is if you're trying to get every section done perfect first hit, which is a challenge in itself and a good one, but you know, I rarely paint like that. I used to. Not anymore. Okay, I want to do the couple of screws here. I'm just going to do this with black and it'll look terrible, but I'll have to wash it out with the white and yellow, and that'll do for, it's like a shadow yellow, whatever that is, like an air vent or something. Now this is the one I want to just put rough. This is the sign writing. Part of me wants to grab the one-to-one reference above and just check it's in the right spot, and the other part of me is like saying, who cares? Who cares wins. So now I'm just thinking with sequencing in mind as far as how many times I want to rinse out my airbrush, that I'm going to get the white out next, put the writing little rough shapes on there, kill off these couple of shapes that I'm making now, which is a bit more sign writing up the top, this shadow, highlights all in there, not the Kenwood sign because I'm going to put the Payne's grey over. Yeah, so the white now again to tidy up some stuff. Yellow hopefully for the last time, because like I need to put white and some overspray here and tidy it up. You'll see anyway. This is what I'm thinking, all the decisions I'm making on the run. Okay, so I need to really, oh actually, here we go. See, whilst I was thinking of it, I'm going to use this and just tidy up that top edge of the helmet as it goes into the air scoop, air duct behind.
There we go. That's better. Okay, just to really rinse it out well now. Black to white. So this part's going to actually look quite messy again, because I'm going to get overspray there everywhere. The visor's just going to go to the next stage. Not going to look finished, but the highlight, so it's not going to be right. There's no actual, a little bit maybe on this side, white. It's quite bright. There's a couple of spots on this edge of the helmet. But it's the colour over the top next after that that'll be starting to get to that right stage, if you know what I mean. Hope my thinking out aloud is helpful for you guys and not just annoying. Right, so let's start with this is the kind of thing, when I first was learning the airbrush, Mick Doohan was dominating the MotoGP, and not so first, yeah, I've been doing it for a little while, but I was starting to feel like I was getting good at it. So I painted Mick Doohan quite a few times, and I knew at that stage that you could simplify a lot of the sign writing, and I always used to write my name. One of these would be a demo. I'm not doing that now, but okay, look at that. So I'm going to grab your finger mark on the white there. I'll take a couple of coats to colour that. Clean up this white pinstripe again. Clean up around these rectangles. The black overspray is because I freehanded it. Never going to be perfect, but it'll be good enough. Okay, now wipe this 85% out. Wipe this about 50% out. That one should be right. There's actually a little bit of a highlight on this side, this air duct. Okay, time to start putting some highlights on the helmet itself. On the black is when you really see how well or how poorly the white is working. On the yellow it's a little bit harder to see. On the black you see it instantly, and it's working alright. It's actually good. Initially I thought, oh, maybe I've reduced it too much, but it could go even a little bit thinner for this situation where it's on the top. That initial put down is fine. It's just when I'm trying to get it a bit brighter, it just doesn't work as well. That didn't even make sense. Sometimes I just talk and I just don't even know what the freaking hell I'm saying. What I'm saying is it actually could be a bit thinner. It's working pretty well. So it's a pretty good mix of opacity versus control. Opacity's winning though. So if I was struggling for the control, wanted a little bit more control, I've got room to add a bit more reducer if I wanted to. How's that? Is that better? Clarity, I mean. A lot of bright reflection on this side down here, which probably came from sun reflecting on the mirror or something, because it's really bright on that side. Okay, I need to put a couple of circles. These are actually the shell symbols, sponsorship. And I can still just see the D where that goes, so it gives me an idea that the other one's about here. That's about as detailed as it's going to get. I'm just going to hit a bit of yellow on it. Probably don't worry about the red. Okay. How are we going for time? 51 minutes. Jeez, there's no hope of getting that whole thing done in an hour. It's going to go a bit more than an hour today, that by looks, because it's getting close. I would really like to say this whole bit's finished, including the glove. Okay, so speaking of the glove, let's just use the white here. It's not
not white, but we're trying to speed up the process, thinking a few steps ahead. That part's black. Okay. Just going to brighten that a little bit, because now I'm thinking I'm going to get that Payne's grey out on that side. Probably going to get a bit of transparent skin tone on this side, even though it doesn't look like skin tone, but surface mix something close. Right, Payne's grey. Very reduced, it's alright. Why isn't it coming out? It's actually so reduced it's not even, it's coming out just as like reducer. There we go, it's probably just a bit lumpy in the bottom. No, that's not working at all. Okay. Just topping up the Payne's grey. I don't know why that's not working so well. Well, it's definitely working last time, but just thickening it up. I dare say it's probably just stuck to the bottom a little bit. It is working when I go back, but when I spray it out, I only see the reducer first, so it looks white until the reducer, not white, but looks light, until the reducer evaporates, and then I see that hint of Payne's grey, but it was so thin. It's really hard to work with, so it's a little bit thicker now. A little bit in here. Okay. I'm just looking at the visor itself now before I tidy up the other bits. I'm going to get, like I said, the skin tone. Transparent skin tone. So this would have been one of the shadow colours. So it's an orange. And just lightly work it on top of here, surface mix that colour, and I'm going to kill it off. There's always a plan was to just put that brownness a little bit there, then I'm just going to use black and kill the starkness off that. So it's obviously not the right colour there, probably could have used there's a couple of shadow skin tones, probably could have used the next one down. But
again, we're just going to kill that off with the black. All it does is I'm just looking at the actual white highlight that I put in, and just put a little bit of colour on there. I am going to tweak that violet colour again with a little bit of white on top. And that'll be to finish it with a little bit of white. It's not the same, but it'll do. Okay. Let's put some, looking at this glove too, because I want to finish that today. How are we going? We're almost at the hour. I probably said this every week. It just blows me away how quickly the time goes. So, considering after 11 weeks I've said that, next week will be the same. And I'm working on the tyre, and I want to have time just to go over and just look at, it's always the fun part, stand back and look at, okay, this looks a bit odd, this looks here. I do just need to get it finished, so I probably won't spend as much time as I normally would doing that sort of end work, of just making those minor adjustments and making the colour pop a bit more, pushing the colour back a bit more, tidying up a bit of overspray that I didn't like or whatever. I will spend less time doing that because the series needs to finish. Like, this is so wrong using black to do this part, but again, I'm just cutting some corners. And for my students that watch, like, I'm doing the one thing I never say to do, never, right here especially, never paint close and light. But I'm doing that. Again, just to save time, but okay, that works out alright. Oh, it's starting to take a shape though. This is the ultimate close and light. Oh my god, even black here. This is crazy silly. But that worked, okay. Keeps it sitting back to look. Let's say the white again in a second. White again, just to tidy up just a little bit there. While I've got that white, I will do the Kenwood. Then I'll put the red on the Marlboro. Alright, then I'll put the yellow over the little bits and pieces there. Then I'll put the red on the Marlboro. Yellow on the few bits and pieces. Yellow, red on the Marlboro. Then I will do the red around the shell and maybe finished. Maybe. I just saw a little bit of green on the edge that I need to do as well. Just thinking on the run. Green, get that done. It sort of didn't fit the sequence of colours, so. Okay, wrong green, but that'll do. That's it for that. Rinse it out. What did I say? White. Or how about yellow? Again, the sequence of colours doesn't quite work if I don't. Just where I put white before, just to tidy up around that black. This one, remember I pushed it back 85%, just give me that hint of that air vent. Ideally, you would do that with a shadow yellow, but I'm cutting corners because we've been at now hour or more, and I need this finished. Okay, now what did I say next? White, tidy up the couple of those highlights on the visor, add the Kenwood while I'm there, probably tidy up. I have to freehand some of that Kenwood because again it's just a hand cut stencil. And the other thing you got to think of when you do those hand cut stencils is they call them the islands and bridges, right? So the O's, you have to make a bridge and leave an island, because or else it becomes an island and you don't have the center of the circle, or the D, or that's it, 2 O's and the D. So there's bridges cut out of those. Okay, so this is really subtle. Let's actually make that work pretty well, actually. Again, this is some close and light painting. Now I teach you don't do that, but when you get really good at it, it actually saves you a lot of time. Okay, that'll do. That will do for the helmet there. A little bit brighter this side. Okay. Okay, well I've got the white out. Let's do some bits, little bit of details in the glove. Just gonna make it look finished. Okay, glove done for now. Let's get my stencil back out and put the Kenwood logo on. Oh, the neighbours are out and he just swore. Hope he didn't pick that one up. Okay. I've never had the Mac valve on my airbrush because I don't worry too much about air pressures. Sort of set and forget. But right now, it would be handy just to turn it down a little bit because I'm blowing the stencil around so much. So I'm just like pulsing on, so, and trying to get it as square on as possible to avoid any white overspray sneaking underneath. It will. There'll be a little bit, another tidy up round going on. Okay. Beautiful. Freehand on top. Now, I would, like I said, I'd, here's my bridge, I'm filling up. I would have done this with a little paintbrush, like, and the flips, like I did way back earlier stage with the Marlboro on top of the bigger helmet. But the YouTube's made me sort of come up with some more efficient ways, and this is actually a pretty good way to do it. I sort of don't, I think I don't have the patience to do that manual cutting, but it wasn't that hard. Okay, so now I'm just going to brighten it up. So I'm lifting a bit higher off the surface, so which means I'm creating more overspray, just to brighten it, because I'm just working quite light. So I want it even more than anything. I'm not going to get it as bright as the picture says, but it doesn't need to be. And I'll do one more, and I'll tidy it up with, maybe I won't, it might be alright. No, I do need to tidy up, get the black out and tidy it up a little bit. Yeah, black back out now, but it looks alright. Actually, while I've got the white, I just want to fix this shell, not shell logo. Yeah, tied it up with black. Again, see how I did that with, I was high and light, so there's overspray. I'm going to be similar with the black. I'm not going to sit there and go like point blank and try to go perfectly around all that writing, because I'm just going to be back and forth forever and it'd be too wobbly. So I'm just going to look at the parts that really, I'll go close where it's annoying me a bit. So this O there a little bit, and the top of it, not around the whole O because it'll look odd. Tidy up top edge of that visor again. And now, exactly like I did with the white, high and light, so the overspray that goes onto the white will be hardly noticeable, just like the overspray that was on the black from the white was hardly noticeable. So it's sort of like a two-way, and it still keeps, because those all layers were light, I've still got that sharp edge underneath it that came from the stencil. So again, I could spend all this time on Word, I could do the flips, and I would have done that once before. I did tattoos on an AFL player, and plenty of times, and I'd spend hours, mate, just like exact. And it's worth it in the end, but in this one, it's not so much worth it. So now, I just want to go a bit, I'm just going to go a little bit darker, just really light now. So see how high I am, and because I'm painting that light, just to darken the shield a bit. I don't want to go back to the white and tidy up that Kenwood, but unfortunately I think I'm going to have to. It's just gone a little bit too much, but I'll show you what I'll do with that. I tried to
explained this metaphor once before, and this is what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to try another time. In Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, the original one, when they were in the snow speeders, and they did the green screen, blue screen, whatever, to make the ships fly. Up till then, that all the ships had been in space, so it hadn't been a problem. But on the white of the snow, there was this like cartoon outline around all the ships that looked terrible, and they couldn't work it out. But in the end, what they actually did was made the ships, especially from the cockpit view on the inside, they made it transparent, and that meant that you couldn't see that cartoon outline anymore. But literally in the original one, you could see, they flew around, you could see through the ship, like when it went near one of the walkers and stuff, you could see through it. But they sort of left it, and that's sort of what I'm doing here. I'm high and I'm light, so there's a little bit of overspray there, so, but you don't notice it. Okay, so having said that, what I say I'm doing, I'm going to just brighten up some of that Kenwood sign with the white. Put this down, line it up exact, using the stencil, but not all of it. I'm not going to go all the way back to step one where I sprayed the entire thing. I'm just going to be really careful and selective, and just do some of it, half the letter. So the bottom part of that W, bottom part of this O, staying away from the bridge that I cut. I don't want to redo that. Bit of the D. Yeah, there we go. It just brightened it up enough. And I will freehand just the top of that O now. I'm going to tidy it up with the... When I was trying to do the top of the visor, sort of knocked the top of the O and it looked a little bit odd. Okay, that's going to do for that. Right. I forgot to do the yellow inside the shell while I was there. We're nearly finished, guys. Okay, rinse it out. I'll do the yellow just on that shell. It's a bit annoying that I didn't do that before, so I was trying to avoid when I kept going from green to yellow. And okay, I'm going to get the red now, and that'll do. I haven't used the red today. Oh. Opaque red with not much reducer, a bit like I did with the yellow before, because the red's not a super good colour for coverage. It's actually more of an orange, opaque red orange. So does that mean it's a orange that's got a little bit red, or is it a red that's a little bit orange? I think it's an orange that's a bit more red, which would be fine. Which is basically, this is what I use on the outside here of the car. So let's see, yeah, that's the colour. So I'm just tying up a little bit of white overspray there with that. Doesn't need much. If you remember, I said I knew it was a little bit oranger than the photo, but I liked it. I wanted it really bright. In real life, these are really bright. It's not very reduced, which I wanted for that, so I just made that a little bit awkward to do. But okay, so this is pretty much going to be the final bit. We'll line this sucker up. just put that in, and I think we'll call it today. So as I wind up here, I want to thank everybody for coming today. Again, that are in the live. Appreciate that. When you finish, this is what I'm going to ask. I know, because I was watching other people's lives, that it's sometimes a bit tricky to hit the like if you watch on your phone and that, and you're in there live on the premiere. It's hard to do. So when it's finished, push refresh, push like. Oh, look at that. That's annoying. Not finished. I didn't line it up perfect, so now that goes too far that way. So I've got to get the white back out and just bring that rectangle out a bit. Okay, false alarm, we're not finished yet. So yeah, that was the most animated I've been. And that's nothing to do with because I made a mistake. It was because I thought I was finished for the day on YouTube and I wasn't. It won't take long, but. And actually that was good because I forgot to do some brightness over this black Marlborough writing. Make it a little bit wider. And also come in a little bit on it as well, so I sort of split the difference. Okay, now I just want to put like a big bright dot there, and I'll put a little bit of a reflection there. Now for the 100th time, I'm just going to tidy up this line. See how like impossible that little black line in between these white ones would have been to freehand, but also how unnecessary it is that it was there, that it was needed. Okay, and okay, now I'm getting frustrated. I forgot the little bit of red around the shell here. But anyway, this is good because it's made me just do a little bit of minor tweaks here while I'm on the job. Hope people didn't switch off as I was saying, thanks for being here, see you later. Because we still have 5 minutes to go. Okay, that made a difference. Okay, the little bit of red, this is actually probably useless. Don't even need to be done around those shell signs, which are just circles. But it might make a difference. Well, it is going to make a difference because I left a little bit of white outline on it, so yeah, it does. Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. Definitely for an hour 15 or so, whatever it's been. I'll move these out of the way. We'll get back. Starting to get there now, guys. Pretty happy with that. We're going to have a look at it later. Will I say definitely? Definitely next week we're going to start the wheels. I thought that was going to take half an hour and it took an hour 15, but very close. All right, I'm going to call it next week, the last one. Hope to see you there. Thanks again. Refresh the screen, hit like,
Thank you very much. See you later.